Facial recognition technology is quickly increasing in today's society. In our video, we will address the social issues that are related to the design and use of this technology. We want to raise awareness to the public about how your privacy could potentially be in danger as a result of disclosing this information and not knowing who will be exposed to your facial identity. People don't always play by the rules. It's very difficult to know how our images are being used and whether our right to privacy is being respected. The digital surveillance genie is out of the bottle, and many privacy campaigners have little faith that regulators will ever be able to stuff it back in. Through extensive research, we posed a question to ourselves to use throughout this project. Our research question is, what risks to personal privacy arise with the popularization of facial recognition software? Now you may ask, who is affected by this problem? So we came to the conclusion that our audience that is affected includes the users of social media developers, tech companies, and security departments of the government. Smartphone users are also involved because of how easily accessible facial recognition software is on apps such as Facebook, which we will talk about in greater length later in our video. Throughout the course of the semester, we learned about the relationships with information, technology, and people. The first relationship between people and technology is extremely prominent and very apparent in today's society. In the terms of facial recognition, you should ask yourself the question, what if a technological device got in the hands of someone that was not good and it resulted putting a person in danger? So the next relationship that we are talking about is that of technology and information. Technology is a limitless cloud of information from trillions of people around the world, and identifying who is put in control when it comes to these mass amounts of information is important. In terms of facial recognition, you should ask yourself, if technology was tampered with and all of the valuable information possessed through facial recognition technology got leaked to the public, what would happen? So the third relationship that we are addressing is that of people and information. People share their information very easily and usually without hesitation. So in terms of facial recognition, I want you to consider the following scenario with Facebook. So I uploaded 100 pictures to Facebook, and my privacy settings say that anyone can view my profile. So now that means that anyone who has a Facebook account can see my pictures and can reveal my identity through the pictures of my face. How should I feel about that?
For our example, we chose to evaluate facial recognition technology and how it relates to Facebook. Facebook automatically tags a user in a picture using facial recognition technology. Many people argue that when Facebook tags you in a photo without your consent, they are actually breaking the law. Facial recognition is invading users' personal privacy. The deeper issue behind this is that Facebook has a huge database that is constantly being fed by their users who continuously keep posting photos, which is ultimately only helping them grow stronger. Facebook is superior against all other facial recognition companies because they are updating and improving their algorithms through every new post. According to Facebook, they can identify a person correctly 98% of the time, which is more accurate than the FBI, which is only 85% of the time. The issue with that is currently there's no law preventing the FBI from accessing Facebook's database. Therefore, that could be a potential threat to citizens. Facebook's algorithms matches faces to users with almost human-like accuracy through a 9-layer deep neural network. Therefore, when a picture is posted, a user is recognized through a tag because of their massive database of digitalized faces for every user. The reason why Facebook has gotten so precise in tagging users is because they go through 350 million photos per day, which is allowing them to train their facial recognition software. To put in perspective how much data Facebook has on their users, here are some statistics. Facebook is constantly, on average, going through 2.5 billion pieces of content and 500 plus terabytes of data each day. On a smaller scale, Facebook scans about 105 terabytes of data every half an hour. The concern is that there's no federal law that regulates how companies can use biometric privacy or facial recognition, and no lawmaker has ever introduced a bill to do so. Privacy advocates are pushing to have law regulations on facial recognition to address this big umbrella issue of who owns your face. But after 5 states pushed to have these laws enforced, they all failed and were not passed. Now Congress is allowing internet providers to sell their facial recognition data, which is creating a whole new market that is expected to grow at a very rapid rate. Even though Facebook stated that they do not plan to sell their data, they do have a clear path future in mind, which is to put names to faces even if they are obscure. Additionally, they want to be able to identify people by their clothing and posture. Facebook has already filed patents for technology allowing Facebook to tailor ads based on user facial recognitions. Facebook has a system that will be able to identify the population of the entire Earth, which is ultimately going to invade everyone's privacy in their daily life. So what can we do to raise awareness about the social issues? Let's talk about it.
So one of our solutions is to strengthen the user privacy control on Facebook. Now Facebook allows users to control their privacy setting like personal profile, post timeline, and tagging. Also in 2014, Facebook changed its default setting from public to new user default setting to friends only. We now see Facebook is taking steps, but they still need to keep on doing more on that. So the current privacy settings are limited and have to be extended. For the facial recognition problem we addressed, users should be allowed to control whether or not their photos are tagged automatically, which means that the user can decide whether or not their facial data are sent to the Facebook database. Also, Facebook should let users know any changes of default setting in their account or implemented all the changes automatically to the old account so that users could take their initiative to own their data or faces. But this solution makes some changes in the relationship between people, technology, and information. For relationship between people and information, people are possible to have more power to control their own information. But the facial recognition technology can be restricted because there are less information from the database that can be used to match faces to the real people. The last relationship between technology and people can be uncertain. Strengthen the user privacy control, reduce their trust of facial recognition, but it can also be that people trust this technology because they feel their privacy is well protected. So if everyone's privacy is well protected, new issues exist. We should know that the benefits of internet and media is the connection between people, and this connection plays a supervisory role. The high-speed spread of information lets people to be aware of the potential danger. So if strengthened user privacy control goes too far, criminals can hide themselves perfectly, making them hard to be detected.
So apart from the user, the government and company also have the responsibility to regulate the use of facial recognition technique. And the solution I'm going to demonstrate is the regulation with ownership, the law, and the company itself. Government agencies and the tech company have set up policies in order to avoid bad consequences of abusive use of facial recognition. For example, as of June 2015, NTIA stakeholders' process for facial recognition was ongoing. Notably, the goal of the process is to develop a voluntary enforceable code of conduct for facial recognition technology that incorporates privacy principles outlined in the 2012 White House Privacy Framework. Once the process is complete, companies for which the code is relevant may commit to abide by the code. Also, in August 2014, the International Biometric Identification Association released privacy best practice recommendation for commercial biometric use, which is also submitted as part of the NTIA process. In addition to best practice and code of conduct, some stakeholders have advocated addressing consumer privacy through privacy by design, the practice of building consumer privacy protection at every stage of product development. And by doing the works mentioned above, people can use the facial recognition with confidence that no sensitive data will be released without their acknowledgement. However, there still be consequences of applying the solution. Among the tech company, employees who may break the privacy agreement will be punished or fired, so the employment rate will be raised a bit.
Now you have heard about why we think the rise of facial recognition software is a problem in today's day and age. You have heard about examples pertaining to Facebook and the government's outlook on this software, and should be aware of the privacy risk that comes along with facial recognition. So let's throw a couple more examples at you to make sure you are fully aware of this problem. Additional examples include dating websites such as Match.com use facial recognition to match people based off of their previous relationships. Retailers employ it to identify shoplifters. Bankers want to use it to secure bank accounts at ATMs. And even churches use facial recognition to track attendance at services.
So as you can see, there are multiple areas that this software is incorporated into. An interesting example that we found through our research is that Europe has already backed out from the use of Facebook's photo sharing app as a step in the movement to address these privacy concerns. As stated from Richard Allen, Facebook's head of policy in Europe, he said, "We don't have an opt-in mechanism, so it is turned off until we develop one." Europe is stimulating and taking the appropriate precautionary measures to ensure the safety of the people exposed to facial recognition software as a whole. Maybe Europe's actions are a step in the right direction, and it will allow the United States to reevaluate their policies to address their privacy concerns that everyone is facing. So the next time you give information out too easily, make sure that you're asking yourself the question, who owns my face?